welcomes one of these little ones in my name might be letting in a murderer or a drug. Let's get her to a detention center, you know, till we can figure out what's going on. I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. And behold, now I'm all lazy and entitled. You shouldn't have done that. Do unto others as you suspect they might want to do unto you. What is a man profited if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? A lot. He has profited a lot. One soul for the whole world, that is an amazing deal. Why do you look at the speck of dust in your brother's eye but ignore the plank in your own? Because of her emails. Yes. If a man strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him and shoot him. That is the law. If you want to be perfect, go. Sell all the possessions that you have and give the money to a solid mutual fund. By this, they will know that you are my disciples. That you say, Merry Christmas! Christ! Christmas! That's my name in there, and I put it in there because I wanted it in there so we can all celebrate Big Boy Jesus' birthday time! Okay? Okay.
Rabbi, surely you can heal me.
My child, of course I could. But who would pay for it?
What? I don't understand. I don't have any money.
Yes, it is a sad story, but it does not make me responsible. It is super duper easy for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. The richer, the better, really. Maybe get a solid gold house, just to be sure. Love your neighbor as yourself. Unless you are better than your neighbor, then tell them that they're weird and you do not want to bake them a cake. You have heard it said, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say to you, any man who looks upon a woman with lust in his heart should go ahead and do what he's gotta do.
Lord, your followers grow hungry and we have only this fish and bread.
Oh, sweet.
AD, time for the passion. Get Caiaphas, get Pontius Pilate. Gotta get a whip, gotta take some lashes. King of the Jews, my time is coming. Not crucifixion, everybody's yelling. Got a big cross, damn it's heavy. Got a crown of thorns, where are my friends? Judas, he deceived me. Peter, he denied me. Gotta tell my father, I need some new friends. Everybody's watching me fall and they're not helping. Good Friday, Friday, getting crucified day. Dad better be right about my resurrection. Suffering, 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 suffering. This is not fun. Looking forward to Revelation. It's 3 p.m. I'm hanging on the big cross. Nails through my hands. Why did they stab me, son? Son, I am a son. You know he won't like this. Jesus Christ, Son of God. A thief is by my right side. Oh, screw this, I am pissed. And now you'll know it. Darkness when it's still day. Lightning cause I'm angry. Bet you didn't think that I was serious. Good Friday, Friday. Gotta eat fish on Friday. Everybody's sorry and now they're Christians. Good Friday, Friday. I just died on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to Easter Sunday. Rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up. In just 3 days, who the hell is the Easter Bunny? Yesterday we feasted. Today is Good Friday. so crucified, I so crucified. I just saved you all today. Tomorrow I'm in a cave, then Easter comes afterwards. I just want Sunday to come.
JC, Jesus Christ, just hanging in Jerusalem in robes of white. You can walk on water, then change it into wine. How you gonna kill a man so divine? But he tricked you, son, he's on the rise. And you are in for a big surprise. Get down on your knees and start to pray, cause JC is coming back in 3 days. Resurrection, son.
Good Friday, Friday, gotta eat fish on Friday. Everybody's sorry and now they're Christians. Good Friday, Friday, I just died on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to Easter Sunday. Rising up, rising up, rising up, rising up. In just 3 days, who the hell is the Easter Bunny?
Oh my God, I'm president. I'm so rich and I'm an ass. And there's a wig on my head. I just FaceTime Putin. I told him I'm his biggest fan. Got so much scandal on the front page. Holy shit, let's build a wall. Ooh, I can tweet so well. Wonder if I can say the N-word. Wait, can I really say the N-word?
North Korea, North Korea, in North Korea, North Korea, in North Korea, North Korea, North Korea,
North Korea. I woke up in Donald Trump's body. So orange, overweight, and slightly balding. Now I got no choice but to ruin this country. I can't believe that it's Freaky Friday. It's Freaky Friday in Donald Trump's body. I eat pizza the wrong way and I drink water like a widow.
Auto sequence starts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Where is Matt? Where is Matt Connarton? I want Matt Connarton back.
Happy Good Friday. Hey, everybody, welcome. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed in the afternoon. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM and Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming worldwide at WMNHradio.org and on Facebook via Facebook Live on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. It is, it is Friday, Good Friday. I want to make sure I get that in there. It's Good Friday. I was raised Catholic, so I haven't been to church in a long time. I know that's shocking to all of you. Friday, April 19th, 2019. And we are live. 603-250-6007 is the number to call. 603-250-6007. You can also opine in the Facebook Live chat, of course. I see Christian Cunard. Jenny is in there. Fred Bonig from the dailyripple.org. We have Dr. Jeff Cassell is in there as well. And coming up at 4:30, we're going to be joined by phone by rapper K. Daver. He's got a new release coming out called Better with Age, and we'll see what other trouble we can get into as well. He'll be calling in just a little bit. Maybe we'll play a little something for you. Let's see. So, of course, I want to let everybody know, too, who doesn't know already, that next week we won't be here. Jenny says in the Facebook live chat, Chag some each. I don't know what that means. Oh, was she trying to tag somebody? Maybe. So next week we won't be here. No one will be here at WMNH. It will be all replays and best ofs and so forth. So you will hear new content in the sense that for this show, I did produce 5 new episodes. They're best of compilations of Matt Connarton Unleashed, various clips from over the past couple of years. We just had our 2-year anniversary here at WMNH. And so I produced 5 2-hour episodes of best of clips, and it was a lot of fun. Oh, Jenny says, good Passover. Yes, indeed. So those will air next week. I really don't like running repeats of the show because I just don't want to get into a situation where, because I talk about current events and politics a lot. So I don't want an old show to be playing and somebody hears an old show and they're like, what? I don't understand. Why is Matt sounds like he's been time traveling or something. He's talking about something that happened months ago today as though it just happened. I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. And then, I'll be crucified for talking about old stuff. So I don't want to do that. So I said, well, you know what? If we're going to be on a break for a week, let me put together some best ofs. And of course, I sent those to the great Peter White of The Morning Show with Peter White, which you can hear weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. here at WMNH with the replay 2 to 4 p.m. just before this program. And Peter is really, kind of the engine that keeps this whole thing going because not only does he do The Morning Show, of course, but he also kind of runs things around here, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I think it's probably okay to share that. It's kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit, breaking the fourth wall, if you will. But yes, so Peter White is you might say he's the lifeblood of the operation. By the way, speaking of Peter White, I was listening to The Morning Show. Oh, Walter Herbert Reed III in the Facebook live chat. Hi, Walter. He says, we know you've been time traveling. Yes. So I was listening to The Morning Show, and, occasionally I will, if I hear something on The Morning Show that I find particularly newsworthy or something that I think I want to play on this show, sometimes I'll grab a clip from there and share it with you. Sometimes it might be something related to this show that came up on The Morning Show, and I'll be listening, and it's like, oh, are they talking about me? The narcissist in me just comes out. I'm like, oh, I heard my name mentioned. Wow, that's exciting. I got to pay attention to this. And I love The Morning Show regardless, but when they talk about me, it's like, oh. So, no, there was no real direct discussion of this program this morning, but I did hear something a bit shocking that I'm concerned about, and I'm gonna share a clip with you. It's very short. This is something that Peter White said.
I definitely, I have herpes.
So I'm very sorry to hear that, Peter, and I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about this specifically. It's not something I've ever dealt with, but from what I understand, just from various television commercials, public service announcements that I've seen over the years, it's all about suppression. So there you go. So just something to keep in mind.
I have herpes.
As you go forth. So the great Peter White, of course, if you missed that show or any of the shows that air here on WMNH, they are archived at WMNHradio.org. You can get them there on demand at your leisure. Or if you do listen to the shows live and you just want to be able to relive all the glory later. Also, too, we have our new YouTube channel up, the WMNH 95.3 YouTube channel. Please subscribe. It's super easy. You just go to it and you click subscribe. And then you'll get a little notification every time a new video goes up, because we also do the shows not just on the radio, but on Facebook Live. And then, but if you don't want to watch on Facebook, you can watch later on YouTube, or the YouTube, as I like to call it. Let's see. So Kay Daver's going to be calling in just a little bit. He has been on the show before. Actually, he was in here one time with, it was he and I, and he brought a couple of his cohorts with him, other rappers, and John Hopwood was here as well. It was quite the motley crew, not the band, but you know what I mean. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Mueller report dropped yesterday officially. So we continue to see a lot of the fallout from that. I was driving earlier and I happened to catch a little Hugh Hewitt on the radio. Hugh Hewitt, the conservative talk show host. I actually like Hugh Hewitt. He's to me, he operates on a different level than a guy like Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh, who just really just kind of recycle talking points over and over. Hugh Hewitt's all right. I kind of dig him. But let's see. So, I don't know. I mean, next week, of course, we're not here, like I said. So we won't be able to discuss in real time any of the fallout going on next week. So we'll try to get a little bit of this in today. And it's kind of this, thing where there's just so much going on. You know what I think I want to do, though, actually, is let's go back to this. And like I said, we do have a guest calling in a little bit, so we'll try to get through some of these quickly. But one of the things that we've gotten from the Mueller report, now it depends on who you ask, obviously. If you talk to a Trump supporter, they'll tell you, of course, that this completely exonerates Trump in every way. That's it. It's done. It's over. Move on. But it's really not over because there's still a lot to unpack here. And there is this question, as I understand it, and I'm no expert on all of this stuff and how this works legally. But here's, if I understand this correctly, where we are now with this is that Congress is going to have to take this and decide what to do next in terms of pursuing an obstruction of justice charge or charges against the president. Because as far as collusion, okay, fair enough. That seems to be all set, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? And I said all along, I've said this many times on the show, I was always very skeptical that Trump himself actually colluded, not necessarily so skeptical that his kids might have. And of course, we know about the Trump Tower meeting where Don Jr. was all in, if there was anything there, and so forth. And the story kept changing. And when people keep changing stories and seem to be lying as they go, and their lies are replaced by other lies, then you tend to think, well, obviously they're hiding something. And they probably were. Don Jr. probably was hiding all kinds of things. Who knows? But he can breathe a little easier now. But I was always skeptical that Trump himself actually colluded, because I have always maintained I don't believe that Trump ever wanted to be president, and that he is the accidental president, and this whole thing began as a publicity stunt that just got wildly out of control. And there's things to back that up, and I'm certainly not the only one who believes that, although a lot of people are very skeptical of that. And obviously, if you're a Trump supporter, your position is, no, he wanted to win, and he knew he could win, and he loves this country so much, he just wanted to be president because he realized he was the only one who could make America great again, because Barack Obama completely ruined the country, and only Trump could fix it and all that. That's what you believe if you're a Republican, presumably. But I don't believe that Trump ever wanted to be president. I think winning the presidency might have been the worst day of his life. Although, according to the Mueller report, the worst thing that ever happened to him was the Russia probe being opened, because apparently he slumped in his chair and said, "I'm effed." Except he didn't say effed; he said the word, and believed it was the end of his presidency. But as far as obstruction, it's in the Mueller report. In black and white. Apparently there were multiple occasions where he tried to fire Mueller, just not directly. Now, where I think this is open to some legal interpretation is the pro-Trump argument would be, well, yeah, he may have talked to people like Don McGahn and others about firing Mueller and tried to get someone to fire Mueller for him and, take care of it, or drastically, who did he tell? I forget now because it's a lot to take in, a lot to process. But who did he tell to tell? He told someone to tell Mueller that he wanted to limit the investigation to only future Russian meddling, but nothing that had already happened, which is, of course, the same thing as saying, don't investigate anything, just shut it down. Right? Functionally, because how do you investigate, what's that movie where they have the pre-crime division, Minority Report, right, with Tom Cruise? How do you investigate future Russian meddling? Right? It hasn't happened yet. It's in the future. So, you can only investigate things that have already happened. You can't investigate the future. You can try to predict it, but you can't investigate it unless again, we go back to the time travel. So, well, maybe I'll play that song later, Time Traveler by Kiss. I'm always looking for an excuse to play a Kiss song on the show. They're my favorite band, So is that not obstruction? See, pro-Trump people would make the argument that, well, none of it ended up happening. Yeah, he might have told people to fire Mueller or find some way to end the investigation without directly firing Mueller himself, which he could have done. But I always said, and this is something I was wrong about, by the way. I always said throughout this process that I thought that Democrats were worried too much, but they were kind of getting everyone ginned up about this idea that any day now Trump might fire Mueller. I said all along, that's one thing, as much shade as Trump is constantly throwing at the investigation, I don't believe he'll take that step. That will be a bridge too far for everybody. So I never believed that Mueller was in any danger of actually being fired. And I was wrong about that. I mean, I was right that Trump never directly fired Mueller. Mueller was able to complete his investigation without being fired by Trump. But the part that I was wrong about was my belief, I guess, I was naive, my belief that Mueller was not in any danger of being fired because apparently Trump did try to do that. Just not directly. He wanted to kind of keep his own hands clean, have somebody do his dirty work for him, whether it be Don McGahn or someone else. Or didn't he tell somebody to tell Jeff Sessions to tell Mueller, basically, let's just not go forward with this or something, right? It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process. I can't keep track of what was said to who and why. Now, so the pro-Trump people will tell you, well, it didn't happen. I think, didn't he tell Corey Lewandowski at one point to go tell Mueller something, or go tell Don McGahn to tell Mueller something? Or anyway, a lot of characters in here. So the pro-Trump people will say, well, it didn't happen, so it's all good, so there is no obstruction. On the other hand, there is a legal theory here. And again, I'm speaking as a layman. I have no legal experience at all. I'm not an attorney, and I know most of you are probably going, yeah, Matt, we've kind of noticed. The theory being that it doesn't matter if his orders were carried out. He still tried to fire Mueller, and that's obstruction. 10 different examples of obstruction, actually. And yeah, he told Lewandowski to tell Sessions. Fred's posting in the Facebook live chat. There's another very long post in there we'll get to in a second, but if we have time. So if you, let's say, for example, you tell someone to commit a murder. Actually, it's funny because this came up here locally in New Hampshire because Pam Smart, and if you're from, obviously you might know who Pam Smart is, even if you're not from New Hampshire. But of course, New Hampshireites, we all know who Pam Smart is. A few decades ago, she tried to get her lover, her high school student / lover, and a friend to murder her husband, and they did it, and she ended up in prison for it. for a conspiracy to commit murder. She didn't personally murder her husband, but she got somebody else to do it for her. But my understanding is, in the case of something like that, even if you try to get someone to commit a murder on your behalf and they don't do it, but law enforcement finds out that you tried to get them to do it, or you made some sort of agreement with them to do it, but they just never quite followed through, you've still committed a crime. You've still committed conspiracy to commit murder. So, in that respect, it doesn't matter that it wasn't carried out. What matters is that you tried to have someone killed. So, looking at it that way, one might argue, well, it doesn't matter that Trump attempted to obstruct justice, but no one would follow through. Because apparently, from what I have read online, because I haven't read the actual Mueller report itself, I just haven't had time. I do want to read it. But just from other things that I've been reading, it sounds like what was happening was Trump was trying to get people to do things, and then they were either telling him, no, I'm not doing that, or they were saying something like that they were doing something like I used to do when I was a kid. I would do with my parents. When my parents would tell me something, I would be like, oh, yeah, sure. And then I just wouldn't do it. I would agree to do it and then just not do it. Not the most honorable thing, but I was a kid. What do you want to do? Like when my parents got divorced and my dad remarried, and he married this woman named Debbie. And Dad and Debbie at one point sat me down and had a very nice, very gentle conversation with me where they asked me to call Debbie Mom instead of calling her Debbie, which I felt was inappropriate because I already had a mother whom I called Mom, and I wanted to continue to call Debbie Debbie because she was my stepmother, not my mother. But I felt put on the spot, so I just kind of gave them the old, oh, okay, sure, whatever, and then just never in my life have I actually called Debbie Mom. So I told them I would do it and then just didn't do it because I knew that, because it was a lot of, well, you know, if as long as you're comfortable, this is what we would like. So I was just like, okay. So then I figured in my mind, I was pretty savvy at a pretty young age. I thought, okay, well, I can just agree to do it and then not do it. They're not going to call me out on not doing it. They'll assume that I'm not comfortable doing it. And they won't bother to follow up. So it sounds like somebody like Lewandowski was one of the people, in fact, who I remember reading, Trump told him do this, and Lewandowski was like, yeah, sure, whatever, and just didn't do it. And then Trump never followed up with him on it. And so it just didn't get done. Right? So, let's see. Fred posted, hello to Kay Daver in the Facebook live chat. So Fred posted, the president directed that Sessions should give a speech publicly. Oh, yes, I remember reading about this. Announcing that I know that I recused myself from certain things having to do with specific areas, but our POTUS is being treated very unfairly. He shouldn't have a special prosecutor counsel because he hasn't done anything wrong. I was on the campaign with him for 9 months. There were no Russians involved with him. I know for a fact because I was there. He didn't do anything wrong except he ran the greatest campaign in American history. Let's see. The dictated message went on to state that Sessions would meet with the special counsel to limit his jurisdiction for future election interference. Now a group of people want to subvert the Constitution of the United States. I'm going to meet with the special prosecutor to explain. This is very unfair, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see. Oh, Matt Maddock in the Facebook live chat says, Matty C, what up? Problematic. Hey, problematic in the house. In the house, you might say. All right, we have a call. Let's see. This is most likely our guest, Kay Daver. Kay Daver, is that you?
It is. What's happening, man? How you doing?
Hey, good. How did you come out in this whole Russia probe in the Mueller report? Are you in there?
I think I am, but it's purely speculation.
You should read that.
Educate me. What's cracking? What's that with Trump?
Yes. Yeah, you're not necessarily a big mainstream news guy. You're into news and politics, but of a kind of a different sort.
Yeah. No, I dabble. I mean,
You dabble,
obviously
yeah.
we've talked many times over the years. I'm not really like I used to be, man. It's just like at what point is it just become a convoluted mess of what do you believe? You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know.
By the way, earlier, so I don't know if you saw the Facebook posts, and I know it's not your newest song, but it's from a few years ago, but I thought it was appropriate for a show like this. I had shared out the video of your song America, you and Connarton. It's a great track and a really great video. So I had shared that out on Facebook to promote that you were going to be calling into the show today. Jenny reshared it and actually on her author's page, and she got her account was like she got flagged for the post because they were saying that
yes,
because Facebook was saying that we don't allow hate speech or this and that. And Jenny's like, and Jenny and I were like, well, what the hell? That's, the song is like not pro hate speech. It's anti-hate speech. And, or however you want to take it. But I don't know how you get, obviously someone reported the post and then Facebook, probably a bot at Facebook just said, okay, we're going to suspend your account or whatever. But apparently now it's back. She got another message saying we got this wrong, a message from Facebook, and you're all good. So the post was unflagged. So there you go.
Yeah, it was a good day. Thank you for all the kind words, man. I was just laughing because we're in this weird stage right now to where like it seems like every time me and you talk, it's a new stage. So I guess that's a beautiful thing. But we're in this weird stage now where it's like we're already national. You know what I'm saying? I headlined my own tour last year. I've done several tours last year, and I guess it's at this point now where it's kind of like a growing pain. We're bursting into new markets globally, even, and while we're getting immense amounts of love, the love is way more than the hate. But I'm receiving amounts of hate right now that I've never received before, and I guess the only thing I can come up with is, man, I guess that's how you know you're doing something right.
Sure.
So.
Well, it's like Paul Stanley from Kiss says, you should be just as proud of the people who hate you as you are the people who love you. Because Kiss gets a lot of hate from people who don't like Kiss. So, but when you say that though, now I'm curious about something. So you said, obviously what happened with Facebook and the sharing of the post is not an isolated incident. What do you mean when you say you're getting unprecedented amounts of hate? Like what's been going on?
I mean, it would just vary, you know what I'm saying? So, like, on my personal page, not so much, because I can just dictate that, but on, the like page, we put out a new video, lots of love, all that stuff. But then some people are just sour individuals, man. They either inbox me with some ill speech, or they drop comments on it, you know what I mean? Some kid told me to slit my wrist, this, that, the other thing. And,
that's not nice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It is what it is. It's just like that. It's just music hate. Like, none of it's real. Ain't no one gonna do nothing. It's just a bunch of kids in their bedrooms or on phones or whatever. But, I mean, it's not unprecedented. It's not unprecedented in the grand scheme of life. It's just it's a new level of hate for me.
For you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Or in the past, I'd get an occasional message of, screw you, this, that, the other thing, and now it's like pretty regular. Cool.
That's all right. You know what I've always said, and I kind of apply it to I've applied it to a lot of things, and I apply it to this show in terms of how I think of this. I always say, I'd rather be loved than hated, but I'd rather be hated than ignored. That's always kind of been my mantra, and I apply, like I said, I apply it to this show. I know that I get a lot of positive feedback from people who love the show, but but I know that there's people listening who hate the show, and that's cool too. I'd rather they love me, but I'd rather they listen and hate me than not listen at all, because people do that. Like, people will hate listen. I mean, that's one of the things. Like when Howard Stern,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, when Howard Stern was very young in his career, that was one of the. It's in his first book, Miss America. He talks about that, how people, like, he would hear from people who hated him, but it's almost like they enjoyed hating him, so they would listen anyway. And I think that's well,
my sales are going up, so I hope they keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
Another beautiful thing. Another thing is that they don't get. Every time they do a frown face or a laughy emoji or whatever, on Facebook, you laugh. So I drop a video, they laugh. Like, like it's gonna hurt my feelings or something. Anytime they do that, they're adding more engagement. They're boosting my numbers.
They
one
are.
by one. So by Facebook's algorithm, the more comments of hate they drop, and the more of these little corny moves that they think is going to better themselves,
right,
to put me down, it's actually boosting me. The more, how do I want to say this? The more interaction, the more engagement on my page. Facebook doesn't look at, oh, this person. If you give me engagement, that means more people are going to see my stuff by you doing that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So it's blessing.
That's what a lot of people don't realize. And maybe we shouldn't give away this secret, but it's not a secret, but
they're not going to stop anyway because they're so miserable in their own lives.
Right.
That's
right.
The thing. When you just shine, when you shine and nobody can take you, when nobody can take your shine,
yeah,
it bothers them so much,
yeah,
that they don't even think reasonably. I can give them all the tricks in the game how to end my career, and they ain't gonna do one of them because they're just so upset that I'm blown. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I was thinking too, specifically with YouTube, like on YouTube videos, somebody will try to give you a thumbs down because they think it's going to hurt you, and they don't realize. I don't remember exactly how the algorithm works, but from what I understand, those downvotes on YouTube actually count. Like I think like 3 or 4 downvotes count as one upvote. So even if you have a bunch of people downvoting you, you actually want a lot of. It's better to have upvotes. But if you have enough downvotes, I don't know if that's really the right term, or I'm really thinking of Reddit when I say that. But
dislikes.
You know what? Right. Thank you. That's what I meant. Yeah. If you have enough dislikes, that still does boost you, as long as you get enough of them, because they accumulate, and, X number of dislikes do count as one like. And a lot of people don't even realize that. So if they really want to mess with you, they should just not say anything. That's the best way to screw you. But then they don't get the attention, so that's not an option for them. Hello to Misty Rain in the Facebook live chat. She posted a heart, and she's throwing the horns there. Hello to
Misty, what's cracking?
Hello to Rhonda Ostrowitz Favero in the Facebook live chat. Also, Adam Tucker is in there. He says trauma unit. I don't know the reference. Maybe you do.
That's my new label.
Oh, very nice. Oh, we'll have to talk about that.
Adam, what's cracking, dog? How you feeling? How's everyone doing?
Oh, nice. And Fred Bonig from the Daily Ripple says, I hate listen, just saying. So there you go.
Yes.
Well, tell us about the new label, Trauma Unit.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy thing, man. I've never really wanted to do it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, I hate rappers, and I hate egos, and it's hard enough to get over on yourself, let alone deal. But yada yada, had a bunch of people, and it got to the point in my career where we're about to go on our first like we've been touring, you know what I'm saying, a lot of regional. We did like 25 dates in the Midwest before I formed this label.
Yeah.
But I was about to go on my first national, you know what I mean? And
excellent.
I thought I do have a strong team around me, but we had a lot of fluff around us at the time. We built this label, like 12, 13 people, this, that, whatever. And, in the last year, a little less, you know what I'm saying, it's really dwindled down. But we got some really strong people with us right now, man. Like Livid, shout out to him. He just dropped an album earlier this year. We shot a visual for it. He's out here grinding. He was on my Robbie tour last year. I got Killer Intellect, you know what I'm saying? Nasty. Killer Intellect could possibly be, him and Kinetic. Shout out to Kinetic, man, both on my label. Killer Intellect and Kinetic could possibly be the most underrated rappers in the game right now.
Yeah.
So.
Is Kinetic still your... Is hype man the right term, or it seems like he's kind of more than that? But
yeah, man, he's
whenever I've seen you perform live, he's been with you.
He's my hype man, but we're like a group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I postponed some tours and stuff for him. You know what I mean? Because he's more than a hype man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just wouldn't be right for me to go out on these tours, and he just had a kid. Shout out to him. You know what I mean? He's a good father. You know what I mean? But he needed a little time to get everything situated with his child. His child's like 7 months old, maybe
wow.
a little less. 6 months, and so. There's some beautiful things in the process of, postponing that. We got a lot of beautiful visuals dropping. I got a video, Ride Till I Die, dropping next week. I got 2 videos for the new project, Better With Age, already done. They're already shot. They're already ready.
Wow.
Shout out to Wax Hog Films. Shout out to Sandel Films. A lot of beautiful stuff. And we got 2 more videos we're going to be shooting at the end of next month. Just so many great things. There's so many great things right now, man. Like I wake up and I'm so grateful. I can't stress that enough. Like,
yeah.
I don't pray to a white man in the sky. but I do believe in the universe, and I do believe in a power. And I pray to God. I thank God every day. Every day I wake up, I'm thankful. If you wake up and you're breathing, and you're not thankful. If you're not thankful to be breathing, then you're not going to be thankful for anything that happens along the way. You know what I mean? Like whatever's given to you, whatever you've earned, you're just not going to be grateful. You're always going to think you deserve it. Like, yeah, we all deserve stuff we work for, but at the end of the day, I know people that work their tail off and they don't get nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, this game, I'm just grateful. Every fan, every sale, every person I come in contact with is positive, even sometimes negative. Sometimes you can learn stuff from negative people, man. I'm rambling right now, man, but I'm just so thankful to be breathing. I'm so thankful for everything that's happening.
No, I think that's great. I mean, you've earned it, man. You work hard. And you're talented, and I think that's awesome. Hello to Arnetta, if I'm saying that correctly or seeing that correctly. Arnetta Shepard, or is it Ametta? No, it looks like Arnetta Shepard in the Facebook live chat. The Honorable Heidi Hamer is in there. Walter Reed is asking, can we get a link to Trauma Unit? Do you have a website up for that?
Yeah, that's like I said, we had so many artists, and now we've dwindled down. It was a growing pain. You know what I mean? Shout out to Steele, shout out to Ro, by the way, before I get too far off this topic. Shout out to Lungs, shout out, to the rest of the team. But I got a Facebook page that's being revamped. We're gonna have a website. It's all revamped. It's just moving so fast.
Yeah.
Because we're all moving with our own careers, and as well as, you know what I mean. Like my career personally is moving so fast that sometimes, it's just growing. So to answer his question, there's a Facebook page up, but it's all going to be revamped here in the next 6 weeks.
Okay, very good.
Kdaver.com. You can get the Trauma Unit shot glasses, Trauma Unit charms. We got, charms, decals, as well as all the rest of the Kdaver merchandise. I got several T-shirts up there. More T-shirts will be put up next week. I got beanies, hats, various other shot glasses. You know what I'm saying? Hoodies, zip-ups, pullovers, posters, phone cases, coffee mugs. Well, you just go on there, look it up, man. I got everything.
Yeah. Are you still working with this? See, I don't remember who all was here that day. I don't know if you do, because it was a while ago. Remember the day you came here into the station, and you had a couple guys with you, and John Hopwood was here as well. He had a lot of fun talking to you guys.
I've done a lot of drugs since then, so I can't recall.
I understand. Yeah, that's no problem.
And for the record, I ain't promoting drugs or alcohol. I just,
Right. Well, no, I mean, no.
I'm thankful every day I wake up, and the same token, I still have my own mental things I'm dealing with, and it happens.
Yeah. I mean,
whatever.
Dude,
you can hear all about that on Better With Age, dropping June 8th. You can hear everything from certified bangers to struggles I've been through to, I do sprinkle in a little politics. I got one political song in there.
Yeah,
it's a remix. Redo, you know what I mean, featuring King Gordy, called Freedom. And just the whole CD, man, it's like who I am now, where I've come, where I'm going.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing. I got 3 projects dropping this year. So that one's dropping June 8th. I got a project in September, and I got one in January.
Walter.
Well, I guess technically January is next year, but it's New Year's Eve, so.
Walter Reed was asking, sorry, what's that.com again? Oh, and then hello, Alice Anderson in the Facebook live chat.
What's up? How you doing?
It's
Kdaver.com, so it's KDAVER.com.
Yep, she posted that in there for you. Very nice. Walter says thank you. Very cool. Yeah, no, you got a lot going on. Hey, don't worry about the memory thing, man. Too, I mean, you could be. Even the president of the United States forgets things. He could be given a questionnaire and he can't remember any of the answers to any of the questions. So it happens to everybody. Probably for different reasons, but I don't think it's drugs in his case. I think it's just dementia. But no, that's exciting. You got a lot going on, man. And are you going to be? Do you have another big tour coming up?
Yeah, currently no. You know what I'm saying? I'm really focusing on all this product, finishing these up. I'm doing spot shows. Like I got a show in Poland this summer. I got a show in Utah. Looks like that's going to be a mini tour.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
all the way out to Utah.
I'll probably do a couple of surrounding states. Doing a lot of private events that I'm not even putting live. I'm not telling anybody, but a lot of believe it or not, weddings, birthday parties, stuff
really?
like that.
Oh wow.
And those are really cool to me because it's just like doing venues. All right, that's cool. You know what I mean? That makes money. That's business. This is a business. If you don't treat it like a business, I don't know really what you're doing. Like, why are you doing this then? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to get paid or
right.
But at the end of the day, these parties, you know what I mean? They still pay, but but it's not. It's different.
Yeah.
The people there are just so grateful to have you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different atmosphere. You can do different things. When you're at a venue, the venue's on time constrictions. They're paying for security. They're paying for bartending. You know, there's just so many things you got to work around. It's like a show.
Yeah.
When you're at the party, you get an hour set. You rock it. Everyone's just so grateful you're there, man. There's so many beautiful things, you know, as far as that's concerned. I got a release show. It's cracking. I can't announce that yet, but a couple release shows, a couple spot shows. Like I said, I'm flying out to the West Coast for a few dates, Midwest for a few dates, and possibly in fall, but definitely next year, next spring. We got the biggest tour I've ever been on. It gets lined up and it's beautiful.
Really?
So I feel grateful.
Very, very nice. Hello to Sapphire Brown in the Facebook live chat. She says, "Trauma,
Sapphire, how you doing?
Trauma unit in the house." Does she work with you at the label?
She's in St. Louis. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we do shows. Like I said, we tour the country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she's somebody I met in St. Louis. Awesome person, awesome supporter. Sapphire, thank you so much.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, you got a lot going on. Hey, what's so I haven't heard anything from the. Well, actually, let me ask you this. Because you had a video that dropped kind of relatively recently. Is this track not this? Is that on the new one? Is that from the new Better With Age?
It is on the new record, man. What's crazy is
good.
I was just like blah blah whatever. I came up with a hook and a verse because fans want stuff so fast, but I wasn't ready to drop my record.
Yeah.
So I gave them a little verse and hook. You know what I'm saying? And they ate it up, and people inboxed me like, "Is that on the new record? Are you gonna add more to it?" They wanted it so much.
Yeah.
I ended up writing a second verse, and we ended up shooting a music video for it. So that's one of the, not this video coming out next week, and probably not the video after that, but mid-May, the video for that song is going to be coming out.
Very cool. Yeah, nice. And how has this changed? Because your style's kind of changed over the years in the time that I've known you. I mean, what does the new stuff sound like?
It's just flat out polished, man. It's flat out. It's polished. It's sharp. It's me, the best that I can be. You know, Better With Age. I was literally in I didn't even have a name for this record till a week ago. Like,
oh, no
up,
kidding.
just lying in bed. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell to name this record. And it's like, well, this is the best I've done. I'm hanging with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't name his name, but I'm doing a song with a cat. It's got a record coming out this summer. I'm going to be on his album, and he's massive. Last time he dropped an album, it was in top 10 iTunes. So I mean, I'll just leave that there until he announces it and all that stuff. I'm also on Low Key's project here. It's dropping in a few weeks or something, and just so many beautiful things. Like, I'm better with it. So it's polished, man. The hooks are on point. The bars are fire. The storytelling, the ability to take you from point A to B. I just feel like I'm a master of my craft now. I know I'm a master of my craft now. So when you listen to this, you know, maybe I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. When you listen to this, it's like, I've arrived. I've arrived. Yeah, it's taken me a few extra years. Yeah, it's taken me a few struggles. Yeah, but I never had funding. I never, you know what I'm saying? I never ran into a rich tycoon who was going to fund me. I never signed to a label and gave my rights away. I always stuck to what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I was working my craft. I own all my studio gear. $2,000 mic, $3,000 preamp. You know, like, I'm not saying to be like impress people.
Oh,
I'm
I know.
saying that because like this stuff wasn't easy to come by, and I've worked for all of it. I've learned to mix. You know, we've done, and it's just Better With Age, man. It's polished. It's great. It's banging. It's catchy. It's fire. It's something you can get live too. It's something you can feel. It's something that pulls the emotion out of you.
What was this all recorded at the same studio on your own, or did somebody work with you?
This record, all but one song was recorded in my spot. One spot was down in, which is funny enough, a multi-million-dollar studio down in Orlando.
Oh, wow.
I forget the name of the studio. Shout out to Mike B. He was the engineer. Creed did their albums there. I think, who was that guy? I don't know. I'm forgetting names, but platinum artists recorded that studio. So
yeah. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I just happened to be in town that day.
Yeah.
With Kinetic, and we were like, oh, it's just at the studio. You know what I mean? Knock it out.
Oh, that worked out well. All right. Well, hey, listen, Cadaver, we won't keep you too long because I want to. I'm going to go ahead and play. I've got I whipped up a little radio edit because I'm good at that of this track, Not This, which I really like this a lot. So I think what we'll do is we'll wrap up this segment. I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then. But whenever you want, because we had talked about it via text. I'd love to have you in the studio again. Maybe bring some of your people, and we can we'll get John Hopwood in here again as well, because that was a lot. You remember John? Or I know you said you did a lot of drugs, so maybe you don't remember him. But we were trying to hook him up with you to be your roadie. Because you were getting ready to do a big. Does that sound familiar now?
That's funny.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do it because he has a bad back. But
he's cool. He's cool. Like, I laughed just because I was thinking of that time. Wasn't there some girl that was trying to like pay me in Bitcoin for something?
Oh,
is that the show you're talking about?
That probably would have been Jenny. But I don't. Was she here or was she? Or was she listening online for that?
I thought you had somebody call in, or you had someone text message you.
Oh, that must have been Jenny.
I want to take them out on a date or give them Bitcoin or something. I don't know.
Do you accept Bitcoin? Whoops. Do you accept Bitcoin?
Yeah, if you got bread, yo.
All right.
I'll go out on a date. It'll be like an escort type thing. No, you know what I mean? No sexual services, none of that.
Right.
But I'm very funny, very charismatic. You pay for the dinner, you pay me. I'll go out with you. We'll make it crack.
You'll make it crack.
I take PayPal. That's actually preferred. So.
There you go. There's also Venmo, and you got all kinds of options for.
I don't get busy. I like all my stuff kind of organized. So.
Sure, I hear you. All right, K. Daver.
Well, hey, man, I want to thank you for having me on the show, man. Let's keep in touch. I'll come down and knock out another interview for you. Thank you again for having me on, man.
Oh, by the way, I don't think I got to this comment. I want to make sure I read this before you go. Walter Reed said, I don't think I said this. He said he's listening to Rotten Robbie on YouTube. Sick, awesome, and great video. And you just got a new fan.
Walter Reed, thank you, man. Greatly appreciated.
Very nice. And Sapphire Brown says mature, polished, perfected. I assume she's referring to the new release you got coming. So fantastic. All right, K. Daver, you're welcome anytime, my friend, and we'll get you back in here soon. I'll let you go so I can play this track. And congratulations on all the success. And I see a lot more of it in your future, man. I'm happy for you. You're a good guy.
God bless. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace.
All right. That was K. Daver. I've known him for, I think I interviewed him the first time, I think it's been 10 years ago now. I've interviewed him many times over the years. But let's go ahead and play this. This is not this. This is from the new album he's got coming out, or I don't know if it's an album or an EP. I forgot to ask him that, but called Better With Age, and this is really good. And then I've got something else that Fred sent me that I'll play as we celebrate Good Friday on this, this Good Friday. All right, but here it is. This is not this, the radio edit, of course, from K. Daver.
I don't know what I wanna do, but I know it's not this. I don't know what I wanna do, but I know it's not this. I don't know what I wanna do, but I know it's not this. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I gotta act quick. One more year at the factory, I'll probably pop my temper once. Look what losing does. I'm not cut for the norm. I don't want your mourn. Shows to what I'm torn with. Where I am, what I gonna do? Solve this riddle with not one clue. How can I make this living given? Nobody pays just plays and views. Beg for the new. How can I give you twice as much? More bucks and frugal. Stretched in this effing. Hate set with affection. Tell me, what the f we living for? How we end up working 6 to 4, making all these suits rich of us. Double barrel shotty, watch me give it up. I don't know what I wanna do, but I know it's not this. I don't know what I wanna do, but I know it's not this. I don't know what I wanna do, but I know it's not this. I don't know what I'm gonna do,
If I was Jesus, I'd have some real long hair, a robe and some sandals. That'd be what I'd wear. I'd be the guy at the party, turning water to wine. Being my disciples, we'd have a real good time. Ooh, and I'd lay my life down for you, and I'd show you who's the boss. I'd forgive you and adore I was hanging on your cross. If I was Jesus, I'd have some friends that were poor. I'd run around with the wrong crowd. Man, I'd never be bored. Then I'd heal me a blind man, get myself crucified. Politicians and preachers who've got something to hide. Ooh, and I'd lay my life down for you, and I'd show you who's the boss. I'd forgive you and adore I was hanging on your cross. If I was Jesus, I'd come back from the dead, and I'd walk on some water just to mess with your head. I'd know your dark little secrets, I'd look you right in the face, tell you I loved you with amazing grace. Ooh, and I'd lay my life down for you, and I'd show you who's the boss. I'd forgive you and adore I was hanging on your cross. If I was Jesus, if I was Jesus.
Welcome back, everybody. We're in hour number 2. Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. We're live on WMNH. I was going to play, I had another song I was going to play that said, Fred sent me, but then he just, he said, don't play that one. I'm sending the edited version of the other song that he sent me. So I'm glad I didn't play the other one. I would have had to hit the dump button on it, but that's all right. I had to come back from break anyway because we have got about another 30 minutes left today because on Fridays, of course, coming up at 6 p.m., the great Rob Azevedo is here for Granite State of Mind, and he's usually got live musicians who come in and play, so we give them a little bit of time to get set up, and so we need to get out of the way, which I'm sympathetic for, too, because I've done a lot of that myself, interviewing musicians, playing live and whatnot. So, but no, not a bad thing to get out of here a little bit early on a Friday going into the weekend. And then next week, just to remind everybody, next week we won't be here live. So if you tune in next week and there's no Facebook live feed, you're not, I don't want you to crucify me for not being here. Next week, of course, we're off. Not just us, but all the shows here at WMNH. So it'll be, you know, repeats and best ofs and things like that. So for the 4 to 6 p.m. hours next week, you'll hear the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed. I produced 5 episodes. Fred resent that track. Maybe we'll play it at the end of the show. I spent some time and produced 5 best of episodes of Matt Connarton Unleashed. So you'll be able to enjoy those next week because I won't be here. Hopefully nothing major happens. I might, you know, if major developments occur, because we did just have the Mueller probe drop, as the kids say now, it dropped. You know, I might post some things online on Facebook as we go through the week, about that as we continue. I know if you're a big Trump guy, you're going, no, it's over. That's what Hugh Hewitt was saying earlier. Oh, it's all over. There's nothing to talk about. But that's not necessarily true. So I'm going to play, because again, there's this whole obstruction of justice question. And by the way, even in William Barr's initial statements about the Mueller report, he said himself that Mueller said that he could not exonerate the president in the report, but there was nothing where he could necessarily suggest prosecution either. But that's actually up to Congress. It's up to Congress what they do now. So I'm going to play something for you. So this is a little bit of an explainer about the potential obstruction of justice. Let's see if this will play. This is from Politico.com.
Investigating, Robert Mueller was pretty clear that President Donald Trump and his campaign did not conspire with Russia to sway the 2016 election.
There was no evidence of the Trump campaign collusion with the Russian government's hacking.
But when it comes to the question of obstruction of justice, the special counsel didn't really come to a decision. Instead, he punted, saying, quote, "While this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him." Still, Mueller laid out 10 episodes where the president might have obstructed justice. Here are 5 takeaways from that part of the report. Let's start with Trump seemingly nudging then FBI Director Comey to drop an investigation into his national security advisor, Mike Flynn. At the time, Flynn was under investigation for lying to the FBI about his interactions with Russian officials. One outstanding question has been how much Trump knew about this probe when he asked Comey to go easy on Flynn. According to Mueller's report, Trump had previously been told that Flynn was being looked at for possible criminal conduct, a revelation that casts a more negative light on Trump's apparent request that Comey drop the investigation.
I took it as a direction. I mean, this is the President of the United States, with me alone, saying, I hope this. I took it as, this is what he wants me to do. Now, I didn't obey that, but that's the way I took it.
Next up, Trump firing Comey. The president first said he was getting rid of the FBI director for his handling of the Hillary Clinton investigation, but days later had this to say in an interview with NBC News.
When I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story. It's an excuse by the Democrats for having lost an election that they should have won.
But according to Mueller, Trump only admitted to that reasoning after he repeatedly failed to get Justice Department officials to say they recommended Comey's firing. The report also details the president's repeated attempts to fire Mueller during the investigation. Just weeks after the special counsel was announced, Trump tried to force the White House counsel, Don McGahn, to have the DOJ fire Mueller for what the president said were conflicts of interest. McGahn told the special counsel that on June 17, 2017, a Saturday, the president called him at home and again told him to get Mueller fired. McGahn says he drove to the White House, packed up, and told his colleagues he was quitting, but he was talked out of resigning and didn't depart the White House until over a year later. Then there's a misleading statement from the White House on Donald Trump Jr.'s meetings with Russians in Trump Tower. According to the Mueller report, the president's lawyers said Trump personally dictated the initial response, which claimed the meeting was primarily about adoption policy. But Trump Jr. set up the meeting after Russian intermediaries offered him dirt on Hillary Clinton. Lastly, the report lays out Trump's repeated attempts to get then Attorney General Jeff Sessions to unrecuse himself from the Russia probe. Sessions stepped back from the Russia investigation because of his role as a prominent Trump campaign surrogate. Trump lashed out at Sessions for months publicly for the decision and privately asked the AG to renege on his decision, take back control of the investigation, and limit its scope. Now, it's kind of in Congress's hands, which seems to be what Mueller wanted. In the report, he states, quote, "We concluded that Congress has the authority to prohibit a president's corrupt use of his authority in order to protect the integrity of the administration of justice."
All right, so there you go. So that's kind of a quick explainer. So I'd like to go through these. So this article, 10 episodes where Trump might have obstructed justice, and obviously that clip talked a little bit about some of those. Again, this is from Politico. And I know if you're a big Trump fan, the response to all of this is butter emails and Benghazi. But I want to go through these. So let's see. It says here, Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team found 10 instances where President Trump where his conduct raised issues of possible obstruction of justice. They included Trump's request to then White House counsel Don McGahn to remove Mueller from his post, evidence that Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey was motivated by a desire to prevent further inquiry into Russian interference, and various alleged attempts to influence witnesses such as Michael Flynn and Paul Manafort. The report summarized the 10 instances in the following terms. Okay. First one, the campaign's response to reports about Russian support for Trump. During the 2016 campaign, questions arose about the Russian government's apparent support for candidate Trump. After WikiLeaks released politically damaging Democratic Party emails that were reported to have been hacked by Russia, Trump publicly expresses skepticism that Russia was responsible for the hacks at the same time that he and other campaign officials privately sought information about any further planned WikiLeaks releases. Trump also denied having any businesses in or connections to Russia, even though as late as June 2016, the Trump organization had been pursuing a licensing deal for a skyscraper to be built in Russia called Trump Tower Moscow. After the election, the president expressed concerns to advisors that reports of Russia's election interference might lead the public to question the legitimacy of his election. And by the way, that's how we ended up at a point where that's how we ended up with, was it in Helsinki, when you've got Trump standing next to Putin saying, well, President Putin gave me a very strong denial that there was any interference on their part. He denied it very strongly, and I don't see any reason why it would be Russia, which he then, of course, changed. You know, he then told the press days later from the Oval Office, well, I meant to say wouldn't, not would. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't have been Russia. I misspoke, although it should have been obvious to all of you what I meant. That's how we ended up in these absurd circumstances. And of course, you know, it would appear that everybody, including in his own administration, everybody in the intelligence community, everybody believed that there was Russian interference except the president. So what was the other thing he said? Could have been Russia, could have been other people, a lot of people out there, you know. I wish I had that sound clip queued up, but I don't. That's okay. So anyway, okay, so next one. Conduct involving FBI Director Comey and Michael Flynn. In mid-January 2017, incoming National Security Advisor Michael Flynn falsely denied to the vice president, other administration officials, and FBI agents that he had talked to Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak about Russia's response to U.S. sanctions on Russia for its election interference. On January 27th, the day after the president was told that Flynn had lied to the VP and had made similar statements to the FBI, the president invited FBI Director James Comey to a private dinner at the White House and told Comey that he needed loyalty. Yeah, and you know, we all know about that, and we know Comey's account of that. The president was very sort of insistent that he needed loyalty. You know, he expects loyalty. He does that's why he doesn't like flippers.
I know all about flipping. For 30, 40 years, I've been watching flippers. It almost ought to be outlawed.
So, but loyalty is important in any organization, isn't it? Not.
When did they flip you? Tell me. Don't lie.
Anyway, so he wanted Comey's loyalty in terms of how he was proceeding with the investigation of Michael Flynn. So anyway, those are just random clips I was playing. I'm not suggesting anything about how Trump conducts himself or his business. I promise. It's Good Friday after all, so I'm trying to be nice. You know me. I'm always nice. Okay. On February 14th, the day after the president requested Flynn's resignation, the president told an outside advisor, this is kind of funny, actually. He said, "Now that we fired Flynn, the Russia thing is over." Oops. The advisor disagreed and said the investigations would continue. Well, I'd say the unnamed advisor was apparently correct. Later that afternoon, the president cleared the Oval Office to have a one-on-one meeting with Comey. Referring to the FBI's investigation of Flynn, the president said, "I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He is a good guy. I hope you can let this go," unquote. And that's the comment that Comey had said. He took that as an instruction. He took that as an order. I don't know that I would have taken it that way. I mean, I get it. It's coming from the president, but I don't know. Like, if somebody said to me, "I hope you can let this go," it'd be kind of like, well, you can hope for a lot of things, but like, I wouldn't necessarily take that as, not to defend Trump, the president of the United States shouldn't have anything to say about that to the FBI director, an ongoing investigation. But if you're grading on a curve, like we so often have to do with Trump, I can almost kind of see where someone might casually say, "Well, I hope you can let this go," not meaning let it go, but just, "I hope you can." I don't know. Maybe I'm being too generous there, but I've always that one thing is always I've always been a little bit not wanting to judge quite so harshly on that one thing, because someone speaking freely, especially someone whom he thinks he's going to have the loyalty of, just speaking like, "I hope you can let that go." All right. Anyway, but Comey didn't take it that way. So shortly after requesting Flynn's resignation and speaking privately to Comey, the president sought to have Deputy National Security Advisor K.T. McFarland draft an internal letter stating that the president had not directed Flynn to discuss sanctions with Kislyak. McFarland declined because she did not, wise of her, because she did not know whether that was true, and a White House counsel's office attorney thought that the request would look like a quid pro quo for an ambassadorship she had been offered. Also very wise. Let's see. The president's reaction to the continuing Russia investigation. Oh, actually, we have a call. We'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Your old pal Fred, and I just wanted to correct something there.
Yes.
The belief system that was, he was just saying, "Hey, can you let things go?" Because he didn't let him go, he fired him.
Well, that's.
I mean, it was clear that was the reason why. He was having dinner with him. He wasn't saying, "Hey, you sucked at taking care of Hillary, and you should be fired." He was having dinner with him, chumming him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So he
I
obviously,
understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I'm just saying that I've always kind of thought that, like, if someone said that to me, depending on the circumstances, I wouldn't necessarily take it as, okay, he's telling me I have to do this. You know what I mean? But I understand what you're saying too. And you're
well, he's your boss. If your boss tells you, "Hey, I really think you,"
that's a good point.
You should go on break. You should take breaks every 15 minutes and ID the station, right?
Right. That's a good.
You're going to do it. He says, "I think you should do that."
That's a
so
good.
Are you going to do that, or are you going to say, "Well, he just said I thought that was his opinion. I'm going to do what I want."
You're right. Although,
okay, I mean, let's keep everything. You have to keep that in perspective.
Yeah,
and the same thing that Cohen said on the hearing was that he has this kind of, language that they talk. He says things without saying things. If you get what I'm saying here,
Oh,
He's a Yonkers guy who dealt with the mob.
When did they flip you? Tell
Nobody
me.
says
Don't lie.
anything.
Right, yes. Well,
it's all lingo. It's all, everybody gets what you want because they understand how you think.
Well, that's a good point.
This being made ain't working out the way I thought it would. A lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Fred. You're right.
I just wanted to put that out there. And I sent something in the Facebook there, the actual from page 2, where he says, if I could, this is going to be paraphrased, but he actually says this.
Okay.
If I could have exonerated him, I would have. But from the facts, I couldn't do that. And he's also under the bind that he couldn't, convict him or even charge him with an offense based on the fact that he couldn't, be treated like, because they have a rule about that. So
right.
He couldn't even do that. But what he was saying was, I'm not able to exonerate you, because if I could, I would. And there's too much information here that says I can't do that. And there's rules that say I can't indict you.
Yeah, I think it's even on the DOJ website, isn't it? Like, don't they literally have it on their website? You can't indict a sitting president.
And that's what he says in the second page.
Yeah.
So this whole thing about being exonerated, he says, no, you're not exonerated, but I can't charge you because it's against the rules for me to charge you.
Right.
But I'm telling everybody, there's 11 things here that say that he's obstructed justice.
Right.
But I'm not allowed to charge you. That's very much what it says on page 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually. Have you read the whole? You probably haven't read the whole thing.
Not the whole thing, but I have it in a search. I downloaded it, created it into a searchable file, and I'll send it to you.
Oh.
And then you can just type in like F whatever, and then type in a word, and it'll pull up the document through the PDF, and you'll see it.
Awesome.
So when you say something, or when someone says something, I just type those words in, and it shows me all the spots into the 400 and some pages of where they show up, and then I just go look at that page.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I'll send that to you.
Oh, I appreciate it, Fred. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll let you go back to your show. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to point out that, of course, that's what he meant.
Okay. No, I see what you're saying.
Because he fired him for not doing it.
Right. Well, also too, the analogy about, like if your boss says something to you, that kind of crystallized it in my mind. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, he is his boss. He's the president of the United States. If the president of the United States says, hey, I think you ought to take your garbage out, you're going to take the garbage out?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just saying. Just saying.
No, you're right. You're right.
All right?
All right, Fred.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, my friend. All right, bye-bye. No, that's true. That is true. Okay. Let's see. We'll see what else we can. I don't know if we'll get through all of these because it is Friday. It's Good Friday. Happy Good Friday if you're just joining us. If you celebrate that, or happy Passover. Let's see. The president's reaction to the continuing Russia investigation. In February 2017, Attorney General Jeff Sessions began to assess whether he had to recuse himself from the campaign-related investigations because of his role in the Trump campaign. By the way, just as a side note, I'm so glad, and I've always been very happy that Jeff Sessions did that he recused himself. And the reason that made me so happy is because it infuriated Trump to the point where he spent the next several months publicly humiliating Jeff Sessions on Twitter and in various interviews, which I loved. Because if you're a new listener to the show, you might not know this about me, but I loathe Jeff Sessions and believe him to be a sociopath. So I took great joy and pleasure in watching him be humiliated repeatedly by the president. One of the few things Trump did that I really enjoyed. Anyway, in early March, the president told White House counsel Don McGahn to stop Sessions from recusing. And after Sessions announced his recusal on March 2nd, the president expressed anger at the decision and told advisors that he should have an attorney general who would protect him. He wanted Sessions to be his new Roy Cohn. That weekend, the president took Sessions aside at an event and urged him to unrecuse. Has that ever been done, by the way? Unrecusal? Later in March, Comey publicly, no take-backsies with recusals. That's what I say. Later in March, Comey publicly disclosed at a congressional hearing that the FBI was investigating, quote, the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, unquote, including any links or coordination between the Russian government and the Trump campaign. In the following days, the president reached out to Director of National Intelligence and leaders of the Central Intelligence Agency and the National Security Agency to ask them what they could do to publicly dispel the suggestion that the president had any connection to the Russian election interference effort. The president also twice called Comey directly, notwithstanding guidance from McGahn to avoid direct contacts with the Department of Justice. Comey had previously assured the president that the FBI was not investigating him personally, and the president asked Comey to lift the cloud of the Russia investigation by saying that publicly. I've always wondered too exactly what Trump was expecting there. When Trump asked Comey to say that publicly, was he expecting Comey to do something like when he talked, when he did the press conference at the conclusion of investigating Hillary Clinton, and he said, basically announced, yeah, she was sloppy about this and that, maybe a little careless, but we don't think she did anything willfully criminal, etc. Like, what did he want Comey to do the same thing for him? Have a press conference and tell the media publicly, by the way, the president himself is not under personal investigation. I've just always wondered about that. Like, what? We'll never know, probably, but we'll certainly never know. But I just wonder what Trump had in mind exactly when he asked Comey to do that. Okay. So next was the president's termination of Comey on May 3rd, 2017. Comey testified in a congressional hearing but declined to answer questions about whether the president was personally under investigation. Within days, the president decided to terminate Comey. That must have been what if Comey's testimony was already scheduled to happen at the time that the president said that to him, maybe that's what Trump had in mind. Hey, would you please, when you go to testify Congress, while you're there, if you wouldn't mind mentioning that I'm not under investigation, you'd kind of be doing me a solid. Maybe that's what he meant. The president insisted that the termination letter, which was written for public release, because that's why there was that line in it. Remember when the letter was released, it said in the letter something like, by the way, thanks for telling me on 3 separate occasions that I'm not under investigation. So the president insisted that the termination letter state that Comey had informed the president that he was not under investigation. The day of the firing, the White House maintained that Comey's termination resulted from independent recommendations from the AG and deputy AG that Comey should be discharged from mishandling the Hillary Clinton email investigation. But the president had decided to fire Comey before the hearing from the DOJ. The day after firing Comey, the president told Russian officials he had, quote, faced great pressure because of Russia, unquote, which had been taken off by Comey's firing. The next day, the president acknowledged in a television interview that he was going to fire Comey regardless. I believe that's referring to the NBC interview with Lester Holt. Because this was part of the problem, and there's a pattern of this, obviously, but this is part of the problem. I always say, I've said from the beginning, Trump's problems generally are self-inflicted because he makes problems for himself, and this is an example of how he did that. And his story kept changing, and when you keep changing, you know what happens when you keep changing your story? People start to think that you might be lying. Go figure. Anyway. So he acknowledged in a television interview that he was going to fire Comey regardless of DOJ's recommendation, and that when he decided to just do it, he was thinking that, quote, this thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story, unquote. In response to a question about whether he was angry with Comey about the Russia investigation, the president said, quote, as far as I'm concerned, I want that thing to be absolutely done properly, unquote, adding that firing Comey, quote, might even lengthen the investigation, unquote. All right. Let's get one more of these in, and then we got to start to wrap up. Okay. Actually, I might want to skip down if there's one here that I find particularly juicy. Let me just look. Efforts to have Don McGahn deny that. Yeah, this one looks interesting. We'll end with this one. Efforts to have Don McGahn deny that the president had ordered him to have the special counsel removed, because we talked about that earlier. McGahn had asked Don McGahn. And Don McGahn said no. And Don McGahn apparently told somebody that Trump had asked him to do, quote, crazy stuff, to use his exact words. And we all know Don McGahn, I mean, he sat with Mueller for hours being interviewed and whatnot, because Don McGahn, one of the more competent of the attorneys who was in Trump's employ, or technically in the employ of the White House, wasn't going to risk going to jail for Donald Trump. So in early 2018, the press reported that the president had directed McGahn to have the special counsel removed in June 2017, and that McGahn had threatened to resign rather than carry out the order. This sounds very Saturday Night Massacre, doesn't it? To use a Watergate reference. There's definitely a parallel here. The president reacted to the news stories by directing White House officials to tell McGahn to dispute the story and create a record stating he had not been ordered to have the special counsel removed. McGahn told those officials that the media reports were accurate in stating that the president had directed McGahn to have the special counsel removed. The president then met with McGahn in the Oval Office and again pressured him to deny the reports. In the same meeting, the president also asked McGahn why he had told the special counsel about the president's efforts to remove the special counsel and why McGahn took notes of his conversations with the president. McGahn refused to back away from what he remembered happening and perceived the president to be testing his mettle. So we'll end on that one. I did read something else about that was interesting, though, that part where, McGahn was taking notes and Trump asked him, why do you do that? None of my other lawyers have ever done that. And McGahn said, well, I'm actually like a real lawyer. So, I would think it would be rather bizarre for an attorney not to take notes. So, hello to Michael Alber in the Facebook live chat. All right, phone's ringing. We're going to grab this, but we're almost out of time, so this has to be quick. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
How are you, Matt? It's Gene Simmons from KISS.
Gene Simmons from KISS. What a star-studded show. Earlier we had Kay Daver, and now we have Gene Simmons from KISS. This is wonderful. How are you, sir? Happy Passover to you.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
I know that you're wrapping up the show very soon, and I was listening, and I just wanted to call and just wanted to ask you, is everything okay, Matt? Is everything going all right?
Everything's good. All is right in the world, Gene Simmons of KISS. Thank you so much.
All right, because as you know, Matt, I do follow you on Facebook. I'm a loyal fan.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I do catch your posts every now and then, and I do care about you. As you do know, we do have a lot of private conversations.
Yes, yes.
A lot of people don't realize that, but Matt Connarton is a close personal friend of Gene Simmons of KISS. And I wanted to make sure that you're doing all right.
I'm doing well, and hearing from Gene Simmons of KISS puts a big smile on my face.
All right. Well, I want you to know if there is ever anything I can do for you, I want you to reach out for and just call me. You can call me anytime. Call on Dr. Love.
I will do that, Gene Simmons of KISS. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Take care.
All right. You as well, sir. Thank you.
God gave rock and roll to you.
Yes, he did. To all of us. All right. That was Gene Simmons of KISS. Wonderful. All right, so we'll wrap up. I'm going to play this. Jenny in the Facebook live chat says, OMG, LOL. So we'll finish up with this as we cruise into Easter weekend. Again, happy Good Friday. If that's your jam, or happy Passover, or anything else that I might be missing. This is God Part 3, the edited version sent to us by Fred Bonig. This song is by Tommy Womack, who I'm not familiar with. At first I was thinking, oh no, I've heard that name, and then I realized I'm thinking of Bobby Womack. But so this is God Part 3 by Tommy Womack. Don't forget, next week we're off, but we have best of episodes running all week, and then we'll be back the following week. And Lord only knows in these very, very busy times what will have transpired in the week that we're off. But maybe I'll do a special internet-only show that I'll share out during the week if there's just things that I just can't keep to myself because there's so much going on. All right. Exciting times. I love you all. We did celebrate our 2-year anniversary of being here at WMNH recently. And so I suppose it's a fitting time to take a week off. And we still have these lovely balloons. And by the way, and one more time, too, before we go, I just want to say best of luck to our great friend Peter White from The Morning Show with Peter White. I did hear this on this morning's show.
I definitely... I have herpes.
So remember, Peter, it's all about suppression. All right, so we will leave you with this, and I will talk at y'all, the week after next. Take care, everybody.
My daddy was a preacher, so am I. I believe Jesus was a brilliant guy. Revolutionary figure of his time, nailed in Jerusalem for misdemeanor crime. I try to be a Christian, cause that's how I was raised. Work within your faith is what the Dalai Lama says. I choose to picture Jesus in the clouds up above. I believe in Beatles, I believe in love. The Sermon on the Mount is a treasure to behold. Not a word is wasted, every line is gold. Should be required reading for every girl and boy. It's one part of the Bible I actually enjoy. His name was really Yeshua, that's what the folks would say. His people were so poor they couldn't afford the letter J. That letter didn't come